Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me begin with this. Countries don't succeed because of fortune. They succeed because of decisions. Hard, deliberate, long-term decisions. And the smartest decision any nation can make in any era, under any circumstances, is to invest in its people. This is not a slogan, it's not a vision statement. It is sound economic strategy, backed by concrete evidence, and proven again and again across continents and decades. Human capital is the strongest driver of national wealth. In advanced economies, it fuels productivity. And in countries that still rely heavily on natural resources, it is the untapped advantage and the growth multiplier. Land may contain oil, but only people create value. Infrastructure may enable trade, but only talent drives innovation. And technology may open doors, but only a capable workforce can walk through them. And when we talk about investing in people, we often focus on knowledge, credentials, technical skills, which are all important. But there's something we often ignore, and it may be the most important of all: leadership. I'm not talking about the formal kind that comes with position or seniority, but the quiet kind that shows up in decisions, merit, and responsibility. The ability to lead yourself, lead others, and move through uncertainty with purpose. The truth is, we don't have enough of it. Not because we lack the potential, but because we haven't made it a priority. We've produced engineers who can calculate, developers who can code, analysts who can optimize, but how many can challenge, persuade, inspire? How many are taught to ask why, not just how? We've produced talent that can follow the system. Now we need talent that can rethink it. This is not a soft skill. It's a hard requirement. And in a volatile world, leadership is the scarce resource that sets nations apart. And unless we build systems that deliberately grow it, we will keep falling short, even when everything else looks great on paper. If we want a model, we don't have to look far. His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman is not only leading reform, he is redefining what leadership means in this era. Bold, energetic, laser-focused. He doesn't manage for status quo. He moves with vision and urgency, exactly what this moment demands, and exactly what we must multiply. Moving on from leadership. Too often we still treat human capability as a second-tier issue, something to deal with after we've handled the real economy. That thinking is outdated, and frankly, it's dangerous, because the world is changing and it's not waiting for us to catch up. Today, I want to focus on one truth. If we do not transform how we develop our people, from how we educate to how we retrain and reskill, we cannot compete, we cannot grow, and we will not last. Let me share 5 forces behind this truth. 1, automation and AI are not coming, they're already here. They are reshaping every industry. Tasks that once took entire teams are now completed in half the time by software. What remains is work that demands human judgment, agility, and originality. In other words, education systems built for routine and stability are no longer fit for purpose. And that's not a future problem, that is now. 2, every job is now a digital job. This is not about training coders, it's about ensuring every worker in every sector can utilize digital tools. A farmer using precision agriculture, a nurse diagnosing with AI, and a teacher running hybrid classrooms. Digital fluency is now as fundamental as reading and arithmetic. For countries, falling behind in digital skills is not an inconvenience, it is economic jeopardy. 3, demographics are not neutral. They're either an asset or a liability. In countries with aging populations, the economic pressure is clear. A shrinking labor force must sustain an expanding group of dependents. The only way to maintain output is continuous retraining. And in young countries like Saudi Arabia, the priorities may differ, but the need for action is just as urgent. The question is, will youth find systems and jobs that match their potential, or will that potential go unused and eventually be lost? Demographics can only become dividends when we invest. 4, employers are no longer hiring credentials. They are hiring capability. The world has moved on. A degree is not a guarantee. It's a starting point. What employers value today is performance, readiness, the ability to contribute from day one and adapt on day two. That requires an education system that evolves as quickly as industries. Too many graduates are prepared for a job market that no longer exists. That gap between what we teach and what the market needs is a growth killer. 5, we live in an uncertain world, and talent is on the move. Today's geopolitical instability, shifting policies, and fragmented global systems are driving unprecedented migration of talent. This isn't just about tariffs or taxes. It's about where people feel safe, valued, and able to grow. High-skilled professionals are looking for stable homes, places they can thrive and build. And this is a real opportunity for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If we build attractive environments with clear pathways, inclusive communities, and forward-thinking policies, we don't just retain and grow talent locally, we gain talent. In a competitive global arena, that's how you win, by being the place people choose. So how do we respond? Not by half measures or quick fixes, but through bold, long-term structural reforms. Let me share 4 steps we must take. 1, we must drastically realign education and economy. That starts with asking fresh questions. Not what should we teach, but what will people need to do? Not what's traditional, but what is relevant. Curricula must be shaped by real labor market data in partnership with employers. Fields like AI, climate tech, logistics, tourism, digital finance, they're all expanding. And our classrooms should reflect that today, not 5 years from now. This also means giving students hands-on experience, internships, and apprenticeships. Education must prepare people not just to know, but to perform, to question, and to create. 2, we must elevate vocational and technical education to be part of the national strategies. Let's be honest. Too many systems still treat hands-on careers as a second choice. That is a mistake, and it's an expensive one. Technical and vocational training is not an alternative to higher education. It is a critical pillar of a modern workforce. And it's time we recognize vocational education for what it is: economic infrastructure. 3, we must make lifelong learning the default, not the exception. The shelf life of skills is shrinking. People entering the workforce today will need to reskill again and again. That means connecting flexible courses and training to real labor market value. And it means governments and employers must co-invest, because this is a shared responsibility. Learning must be treated not as an early life phase, but as a lifelong asset. 4, we must institutionalize public-private collaboration. No one can do this alone. Not government, not business, not academia. We need systems where all key players sit at the same table. Because when we align incentives, share accountability, and build for the long term, we don't just produce the skills we need, we produce competitive advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the direction Saudi Arabia is moving in. We have created this platform to share our experience and learn from others. Under Vision 2030, education systems are reforming. They now emphasize digital skills, entrepreneurship, and critical thinking. Vocational training is expanding. Women's workforce participation is rising. Young Saudis are reshaping entire sectors. And all of this is supported by the Human Capability Development Program a serious systems-level investment in national talent. But we know this isn't a one-time effort. It's a continuous race, one that requires consistency, urgency, and the shared national will. Every country will face this test on its own way. But the question is universal. Do we treat human capability as a headline or as the foundation? Do we prepare people to chase opportunity or to create it? Do we simply manage the economy or do we dare to build a new one? Because no matter how much we invest in infrastructure or technology, there is no return without the right people to lead it. And those people don't appear by chance. They appear because we chose early, clearly, and repeatedly to believe in them. This belief is our investment. Speaking on this stage a year ago, I emphasized that the kingdom's people will remain its most valuable asset, its biggest pride, and the greatest source of energy. Today, we continue to invest and we continue to believe in our people, in their capabilities, and in their ability to go beyond readiness. Thank you very much.
Yeah.